Welcome back to Lost for Words with Lori. It is Thursday. It is the 1st of September. Man, can you believe how quickly time flies? I can't even believe it's the 1st of September already. But wow, fall is upon us. Hopefully, that'll give some of you a reprieve from the never ending heat waves that are happening all over the country. And maybe cooler temperatures will come about for some of you, I hope. But yeah, it is crazy how time flies, especially when you are busy doing work. I'm taking care of kittens. I've got a appointment for them on the 13th to have a vet check, and then 3 of the 5 will go to their forever homes. Very excited for that. Don't get me wrong, I love the kittens, but it gets time consuming. They're getting bigger. They like to bite, scratch, play, and they're very hyper. So I'll be looking forward to having them checked out, given their first round of shots, and sent off to the people who will love them forever and ever. So if you are looking for a kitten, I'm your girl. I got 2 left. A little boy and a little girl. So definitely keep me posted if you're looking for a kitten. But yeah, so exciting things coming. My brother man from another mother is coming to visit. He'll be here for about a week. I'm not sure if I'll be doing any podcasts during that time. So we'll be hanging out and catching up and busy. He's going to be doing some stuff with his friends here in North Carolina, and I will be working, of course, still, but have time to socialize and catch up, which is really good, considering that when we last parted, things were a little bleak around here at the Heathen's Haven. We had just lost Toby to COVID, and my brother man had just gotten over a month bout of having the virus himself, and survived the deadly fucking Delta variant, which, was a pretty awful experience. So I'm hoping for all of us that it gives us an opportunity to, have some conversations and maybe do some healing regarding some of those issues surrounding the loss of Toby, and how things have gone in the last 11 months. It's been pretty crazy. So with that in mind, I'm going to be probably absent a lot more from the platform, just because when you have company you're busy, and I work, and I'll still be working both of my jobs, and that's a good thing. Distraction is a wonderful thing. However, I have been, aware, and I'm still paying attention to what goes on the interwebs and in my social circle and in our different communities in toxic cesspool world. And it's interesting that, this whole crazy chaos has been going on for a couple of months. And it's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of lines drawn in the sand. And, I guess I pay attention to both sides. I mean, like I said, I'm not involved in this war of people going against each other and trying to, further their own agendas, regardless of which or what that might be. And it's interesting how, as I pay attention and I do watch other people's on other sides, everybody's side, to hear their thoughts and to see them doing whatever it is that they do, what you want to call it, awareness streams, truth serums, I don't care what you call them. But when they have their group discussions about all of the events that have taken place and the things that are going on in toxic cesspool world. And it's interesting that I see some very smart people on all sides of the fence who agree that if you are spending more time worrying about all of the drama and what people are saying and doing, that you spend less time working on your content. And that's really sad, and it's kind of a shame, because the people who are really suffering in all of this are the people who subscribe to your channels, the people who are looking forward to content, the people who want to see what they subscribe to your channel for in the first place. And, a lot of this feels like beating a dead horse. Nobody is going to change anybody's mind or opinion about the beef that they have with specific people. And it's unfortunate because, like I said in previous podcasts, not only were a lot of these people very good friends before all of this happened, or, were acquaintances on the interwebs or supported each other, but I've also talked about subjective truth and the two sides to every story, and then the truth for real. Truth being facts, not opinions. Truth being facts, not emotions or feelings. And everybody's really invested in just being right and having their opinion heard. And there's no compromise when there's, a war going on. People are going to fight to the death because they're going to die on that mountain of what they believe. And again, who's suffering? The people who are suffering are the people who subscribe to your channel for content. And I go watch other people's content, and I enjoy the live streams where people are having a good time, or they're recapping whatever it is that they do, or they're engaging with their people and they're having great conversations, giveaways, whatever the case may be. And I have a great time hanging out and chatting in those environments with people that I am associated with and that I enjoy talking to. And regardless of whether or not I'm close to any of these people or I know anything about their personal life, which I don't need to because that's not why I'm on the social medias, it's about bringing back that positivity and not beating the dead horse of chaos and dissension. And I do understand that there are a lot of really disgusting people on the interwebs, and they do disgusting things, and they act irresponsibly, and they misbehave, and they treat people poorly. And I've talked a lot about being proactive, taking control of your own channels, moderating specific people to keep an eye on, the troublemakers, so to speak, and standing up for yourself and taking control and telling people we don't allow that here, and being accountable for your own behavior as well as the behavior of the people who are in your groups. And, it's kind of human nature for people to tribalize and faction off into separate, like-minded groups of people. That's why we have different communities on social media, regardless if it's true crime or, paranormal or, fishing or hiking or, tiny home living or whatever the case may be. So it makes sense that we're going to, faction off and splinter into these little groups of people that are like-minded. I think it's important for people to think about their responsibility for how they react and respond to the negativity and the things that don't serve them. And at the end of the day, if you want to continue to talk about the drama and keep bringing it up and keep on beating a dead horse, so to speak, that's on you. But take a look at what you're gaining from that. Is it all about the views? Because drama sells. But are you doing a discredit to the people who signed up for your group or your channel in the first place? And, I've talked endlessly about going back to your own mission statement as to why you started to do your content in the first place. And are you still doing it for the same reasons, or are you just getting sidetracked and distracted by all of the chaos that's going on around you? And I know people want to be a part of something. I know they want to help support. I know that they want to be good friends to the people that they've made acquaintances with. However, are you disservicing the people who signed up for your channel in the first place? And that's the point. I'm watching content. And if there's no content there, I'm finding new channels to watch. And that's the sad part. Am I unsubscribing to channels? No, not necessarily. But eventually, everybody, I think, does that, where they go back and reassess all of their subscriptions. And if I don't watch something in a month, I'm going to probably remove it. Because why would I keep it on there if I'm not watching the content, if I'm not supporting it? And I know people get busy, and I know we have lives and we don't have time to watch everybody's video and comment. But if you're networking in other people's live streams and making friends, and you're going to support them, then, if they are open to hearing constructive criticism and hearing your voice as a subscriber and a supporter, that you aren't going to watch or participate in beating a dead horse over and over and over, because that negativity is not good for anyone. Maybe the content creators will get back to what they were supposed to be doing in the first place, and that's creating content. I don't hold it against people for wanting to combat and support their friends who are going through tough times. But again, all of this gatekeeping, scorekeeping, and back and forth fighting isn't really solving anything other than to create more anger and dissension amongst, the fighting class. I don't think that anybody should have to be forced to choose a side. And if you feel like you're being forced to choose a side, then you might want to walk away from that, because it's not serving you. I don't like negativity in my life in any way, shape, or form. And even if it wasn't on social media, if there was, say, a negative coworker, you would have a tendency to not want to be involved or hang out or communicate with that person. But again, it starts with you. You being able to be transparent, you being honest and open, you being the one to lay down expectations, guidelines, and boundaries with people and say, I don't do that. And people will learn that you're not the person. Not today, Satan, if you want to talk amongst the people that you have good relationships with, and you're transparent to the fault where you're saying, I need support, and I'm going to talk to these people quietly and privately and not make it public information, good on you. There's a lot of healing that goes with that. Reaching out to your support systems that are trusted, whether they're on social media or in your first world. Get professional help if you've got some serious mental problems that are causing issues. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's your life, and if it's somebody else's personal business, mind your own. Because I'm sorry, but everybody else's personal life, I'm not the boss of them. It's not my responsibility. I'm not paying their bills. I'm not taking care of their children. I'm not supporting their habits. And if they make bad decisions and bad choices, then the consequences are on them. And at the end of the day, I'm only accountable for my own behavior. And I'm only accountable for the things that I can control in my first world. And me, if I were to participate in all of this side taking and this war and talking shit about other people, honestly, that says a lot about my character. I don't need to influence anybody to my agenda and have them go hating on other people that I may or may not like. It doesn't serve me. It has no good purpose. Why? Because they might come to my channel before they go to somebody else's. Somebody had made a comment in one of their live streams about, we need to be supporting each other for the content that we subscribe to in the first place, not tearing them down. And that's a really good point to make. And you're allowed to be friends with and talk to and hang out with whomever you like. And if somebody doesn't like that, the door is over here. Go find somebody that you do like to support and hang out with who are going to make you feel good. But if we're spending all of our time hating on each other, then nobody's putting out content that we love. And even when there was drama, say a year ago, before this big monster crazy chaos war in this community, at the end of the day, they were still out creating content. They were still talking and having fun and playing games. And, from a personal viewpoint, we were making choices to not participate in that bad behavior and telling people no. And we were doing this a year ago. And, cutting off people who were trying to dictate what we were allowed to do and not do, and telling them that they weren't the boss of us. Yeah, people retaliated. They didn't like that. But again, it sets a precedence for you personally that people will know what you're about, that you don't tolerate that, and that there are consequences, meaning you're either blocked, you're banned, you're shunned, whatever that means. But that doesn't mean that you get to sit around and blacklist people and call names and keep on digging up dirt and making people's lives miserable because of it. Now, I don't tolerate online threats. I don't tolerate any kind of terroristic threats. And there are laws. I've been researching cyberbullying and anti-cyber stalking and harassment laws and all the states are different. And people have a right to pursue that if they feel personally threatened. Good on you. Do that. Protect yourself, your first world, and don't allow that kind of terroristic bullying. However, being frivolous and making false claims and trying to get people riled up because you have an agenda is kind of repugnant. So being responsible on the internet and the social webs and platforms and trying to be a good human and respect the people around you says a lot more about your character at the end of the day. And that's really what I care about. I care about people going, maybe she's right. Maybe she has a different perspective that I didn't think about before. I'm not asking anybody to do what I tell them. I'm asking them to consider that certain behaviors have repercussions. And if you choose to not participate in those behaviors, then you don't have to worry about the consequences. And kindness, compassion, and understanding, and sometimes holding your tongue when it's not necessary to die on somebody else's mountain will take you a lot further and make you think and learn a little more critically about yourself, and maybe help give you a better quality of life than basically regressing back to immature, childlike behavior where we're all sitting in the playground throwing juice boxes at each other and fighting over who wouldn't let you play with the Tonka truck. It seems a little childish. And it's time for people to stop beating that dead horse and get back to the original content that we all love to watch. Because at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. And you're only going to hurt and suffer the consequences of that when people stop subscribing, when people notice that my favorite channel only does hate streams or drama or talks about the same bullshit when it's really unnecessary. So that's what I'm thinking. I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday. It's Labor Day here in the United States, so we have a long 3-day weekend. I work, but I also have company coming. But please do not drink and drive. Make sure you have a designated driver, that you look out for your family and your friends, and stay safe and enjoy it. Fall is among us. It's pumpkin spice season for all you who like the pumpkin spice. But take care of each other. Make sure to wash your hands and be a good human. And I'll see you guys soon. I love y'all. Bye.